Okay, so we're diving right in today.
Diving right in.
We're talking childhood friendships.
Yeah.
Like the real nitty-gritty of it all. The good, the bad, the ugly, the confusing.
The heartbreaking.
Yeah. And thankfully, our listeners sent in some really interesting stuff for this.
Yeah, some great material.
Yeah, so we're going off a segment from the Dear Highlights podcast. Mm-hmm. And then also some articles, one from Triple P and then one from the Bullying Recovery Resource Center.
Yeah, a lot to dig into.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but reading through all this stuff, it really hit me, like how huge this whole thing is.
It's huge. It's fundamental.
Yeah, like Highlights the magazine.
Right.
Apparently they get more mail about friendship.
More than anything else.
Than any other topic.
Right.
Like, wow.
That's really saying something.
Yeah, so that's why we're doing a deep dive on this.
It's clearly on a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, it's, and we want to cover it all. Like, not just the warm, fuzzy side of friendship.
Right.
But like...
Because it's not always warm and fuzzy.
No.
It is not.
There's some real challenges there.
Yeah. So why these friendships matter so much, and then how to kind of navigate all the tricky parts.
Exactly.
Like when friendships change, or even like...
Or when they become hurtful.
Yeah.
Which sadly does happen sometimes.
Yeah. And one thing that really stuck with me from the Dear Highlights thing was Dr. Kennedy Moore.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
She said that friendship isn't just a part of childhood.
Right.
It's like the point of childhood.
Like it's the main event.
Yeah. And I thought that was so interesting.
Yeah, when you think about it that way.
Yeah.
It really puts it in perspective.
So maybe you're listening to this and you're thinking back to your own childhood friendships.
Right. Those early relationships.
Or maybe you're a parent or a caregiver and you're seeing some of this stuff play out with your kids.
Some same dynamics.
Either way.
We're going to try to unpack all of it.
Yeah, break it all down.
So let's just start with like the basics.
Okay.
Like, why is friendship such a big deal anyway?
Right.
Like, why do we care so much about this?
Well, all three of our sources really hit on this. It's not just about having playmates.
Right.
It's about developing crucial life skills.
Okay. So it's like
boot camp for life.
Yeah.
But in a fun way.
Okay.
Hopefully a fun way.
So what kind of skills are we talking about?
Well, think about it. Making friends, keeping friends.
Yeah.
That teaches you how to get along with others.
Okay.
How to resolve conflicts.
Yeah.
How to share, how to be a good friend.
Right.
All those things.
And that's stuff you need for
For everything.
Yeah.
For your whole life.
Work relationships, romantic relationships.
Exactly. Family relationships.
Everything.
Yeah, it all stems from those early experiences.
And then there's like the self-esteem piece, right?
Absolutely.
Like when you have good, positive friendships, that can really boost a kid's confidence.
It gives them a sense of belonging. Makes them feel valued and accepted.
But then on the flip side,
Right.
like when those interactions are negative, that can be really damaging.
Can chip away at their self-worth.
Yeah.
Make them question their value.
And I think Dr. Kennedy Moore put it really well.
Oh, what did she say?
She said that through friendships,
Okay.
kids learn to get along. They learn to navigate conflict. They obviously have fun.
Right.
But they also learn to understand other people's perspectives.
Yeah, that's huge.
And she said that all of this basically leads to happier kids.
Makes sense.
Yeah, happier, more motivated,
Right.
and more resilient.
They're better equipped to handle life's ups and downs
Exactly.
because they've had that practice.
Yeah, and it all ties back into their sense of self, right?
Absolutely.
Like who they are in the world.
Yeah, their place in the world.
Okay, so we've got that foundation.
Right. The importance of friendship.
But then there's the other side of the coin.
Yeah, the tough stuff.
The heartbreak, the feeling left out.
Right, because it's not always sunshine and rainbows.
No, it's definitely not.
And our sources were full of examples of that.
Yeah, Christine from Highlights, she talked about how many letters they get
Yeah.
from kids who just feel like they don't belong.
Like they're on the outside.
Yeah. And that letter we looked at
Yeah.
about Avery Solon and Bella,
Oh, yeah, that was a classic.
like it was such a common scenario.
So relatable.
Yeah, one friend makes another friend.
Right.
And suddenly the original friend,
Feels left out.
yeah, like things have shifted.
The dynamics have changed.
And that's so tough.
It is, and it's so common.
Yeah.
And Dr. Kennedy Moore, she really nailed it.
What did she say?
She said, a friendship breakup for kids
Yeah, okay.
is as painful as a romantic breakup is for adults.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's that intense for them.
Yeah.
And she also mentioned that a lot of childhood friendships,
Yeah.
they're really fluid.
It might not even last the whole school year.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's constantly changing for them.
And I think that letter with Avery Sala and Bella,
Yeah.
it really highlighted how tricky these friendship triads can be.
Oh, they're so complicated.
Like if two people get closer,
Yeah.
the third person can so easily feel like,
Like the odd one out?
yeah, and it's not always intentional,
Right. It's not always about excluding someone.
but it just happens.
Yeah, it's just the natural flow of things sometimes.
And Dr. Kennedy Moore also pointed out that feeling left out
Yeah.
can trigger some pretty big reactions from kids.
Oh, yeah.
Like sometimes they withdraw,
Or-
sometimes they lash out.
Sometimes they get angry.
Yeah, and figuring out how to handle those feelings in a healthy way.
Yeah, in a constructive way.
That's a big part of growing up.
Absolutely. It's a learning process.
So let's say you're a parent or a caregiver, and you see your child going through this.
Yeah, their friend group is shifting. What do you do?
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
it's natural to want to jump in and fix it.
Oh, yeah.
But both the podcast and the articles really stress that that's not always the best approach.
So no calling the other kids parents.
Right. It's tempting. Or how did that make you feel?
Got it.
Questions that encourage them to think about the situation
Okay.
and maybe even consider the other person's perspective.
Oh, that's so important.
It is, because it helps them develop that empathy muscle.
Yeah. To see things from someone else's point of view.
Exactly. And that's a skill they'll use their whole lives.
And I loved that idea from the podcast.
Oh, what was that?
The maybe game.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Like instead of just assuming the worst,
Right.
you brainstorm different possibilities
Yeah.
for why a friend might have acted a certain way.
So instead of saying she's being mean,
Yeah.
you could say maybe she was having a bad day.
Or maybe she didn't realize it would hurt your feelings.
Exactly. It helps kids see that there might be other explanations.
And then once they've kind of thought through all that, you can start guiding them towards solutions.
Right.
Like asking, so what do you think you might do?
Yeah. Or if you do that, what do you think might happen?
And that helps them.
It helps them explore different options.
Yeah. And think about the potential consequences.
Then they can kind of make their own decisions.
Exactly. It empowers them to take ownership of the situation.
Now, one thing that surprised me
Oh, what was that?
was how the podcast talked about younger kids and how they often deal with conflict.
How do they do it?
It's not like this big negotiation.
No.
It's more like,
More like a timeout and then back to playing.
yeah, they separate for a bit.
Right.
And then they just come back together.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah, it's so simple.
It is. And it works for them at that age.
Yeah.
Because they're still developing those more complex social skills.
Okay, so we've talked about the normal ups and downs
Right.
of friendship.
The typical bumps in the road.
But what about when it's more than that?
Yeah, when it's consistently negative.
Like, when do you, as a parent, start thinking about whether a friendship is actually healthy?
That's a tough one.
It is.
And Dr. Kennedy Moore, she said that ultimately it's the child's decision.
But sometimes kids stay in friendships that aren't so great.
Just because they don't want to be alone.
Exactly. It's that fear of being alone.
And she suggested asking some really good questions.
Oh, like what?
Like, how do you usually feel after you spend time with this friend?
Okay.
Or have you tried talking to your friend about how you feel? And then how does your friend respond when you do?
Those are really insightful questions.
Yeah, because it makes them really think about
Yeah.
the impact of the friendship.
It helps them evaluate whether it's truly a positive force in their lives.
And if the answers to those questions are consistently negative,
Right.
like if the friend is always mean
Yeah. Or disrespectful.
or just doesn't seem to care, that's when you might want to start suggesting.
Gently suggesting.
Yeah.
that maybe it's time to look for other friends.
Yeah, and that's where creating opportunities comes in.
Oh, absolutely.
Like signing them up for activities,
Yeah.
putting them in situations where they can meet other kids.
Who share their interests.
Yeah, because that's how new friendships form.
Exactly. Through shared experiences.
And let's be real, conflict is going to happen in any friendship.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, it's part of learning to navigate relationships.
Right.
And the Dear Highlights segment talked about the importance of being able to repair those little ruptures,
Yeah. To communicate openly.
but also to recognize that sometimes
Sometimes it's just not going to work out.
sometimes a friendship runs its course.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And one thing Christine said that really stuck with me
Oh, what was that?
was about offering forgiveness and hoping to receive it in return.
That's powerful.
Yeah. It's about extending grace,
Right.
believing in second chances.
And understanding that everyone makes mistakes.
Exactly.
Valuable lesson in resilience.
Okay. But then there's that line between normal conflict
Right.
and actual bullying.
Yeah. And that can be tricky.
Yeah, the Bullying Recovery Resource Center. They talked about this.
Yeah, they made a really important distinction.
So they mentioned that term frenemy.
Oh, yeah.
But they made it clear that true friends, even when they disagree, they don't intentionally try to hurt each other.
Exactly. They treat each other with respect.
And the PACER organization, they actually have a definition of bullying.
What is it?
They say if someone's behavior hurts you, you've asked them to stop, and they keep doing it.
That's bullying.
Yeah, that's not just a friend being a jerk.
Right. That's a pattern of behavior.
That's crossing a line.
Exactly.
And the article also pointed out how much worse it can be when the bullying comes from someone.
From someone who used to be a friend.
Yeah, like a former friend.
That can be especially painful.
Because there's that betrayal there.
Right, like a loss of trust.
And they specifically talked about relational bullying.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes called social bullying.
Right.
Which can be so hard to spot.
It's not as obvious as physical bullying.
No, it's more subtle.
Yeah, things like spreading rumors.
Yes.
Excluding someone on purpose.
Trying to ruin their reputation.
Yeah, damaging their social standing.
And adults often don't even realize it's happening.
It can fly under the radar.
Yeah, because it's not like punches and kicks.
Right, it's more psychological.
And the Bullying Recovery Resource Center, they gave some good advice.
Yeah.
For kids who are dealing with this.
Like what?
They said, don't just laugh it off.
Right.
Like, don't pretend it doesn't hurt.
Acknowledge your feelings.
Try to talk to the friend privately about how their behavior is making you feel.
Explain how it's affecting you.
Stand up for yourself if you can.
Right.
And ultimately be willing to walk away
from toxic relationships.
Yeah, because you deserve to be treated with respect.
Absolutely. Everyone does.
And they also shared this great list.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Of bully-proof friendship characteristics.
It was from Very Well Family.
Yeah?
What were some of them?
Like treating each other as equals.
Okay.
Being honest and trustworthy. Celebrating each other's successes.
Yeah, supporting each other.
Standing up for each other.
Being your true selves.
Yeah, not pressuring each other to do stuff.
Right.
They're not comfortable with.
Those are great benchmarks.
Yeah, like that's what a healthy friendship should look like.
It's exactly something to aspire to.
And there was this interesting research.
Oh, yeah, from Penn State.
Yeah. They found that teenagers are more likely to be bullied by friends or friends of friends.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so it's not always some random stranger.
Right, it's often people they know.
Which makes it even trickier.
It does.
So zooming out a bit, the Dear Highlights podcast asked a really big question.
Oh, what was that?
Like, as a society,
what
more can we do
to
help kids develop these friendship skills?
It's a great question.
And Dr. Kennedy Moore had a really good answer.
What did she say?
She said, first and foremost, we need to make sure that kids' basic needs are being met.
Like food, shelter, safety.
Yeah, all that stuff.
The essentials.
Because if a child is dealing with instability at home, or they're not feeling safe, it's going to be so much harder.
It's going to add another layer of complexity.
Yeah, to navigate the complexities of friendship.
Exactly.
So there's a real societal responsibility there.
To support all children.
Yeah, to make sure everyone has those basic foundations.
Absolutely.
And then she also talked about creating opportunities.
Yeah, giving kids chances to connect.
Like one-on-one interactions.
Those are especially valuable.
And fostering empathy.
Both in ourselves and in children.
Yeah, because that's ultimately what it all boils down to.
The ability to understand someone else's perspective. That's the key to healthy relationships.
And the Triple P resources, they kind of tie into all of this.
Yeah, they offer great support for families.
Like guidance on kids' emotional well-being.
Yeah, helping them build confidence.
But also helping parents manage their own stress.
Which, in turn, creates a more stable environment for the kids.
Exactly. It's all interconnected.
It really is.
So after diving deep into all this stuff, I think the big takeaway is that friendships are essential.
They're fundamental.
For a happy, healthy childhood.
Absolutely.
But navigating the ups and downs.
Right.
The joys and the heartbreaks.
Those twists and turns.
Yeah, that's all part of growing up.
It's a crucial developmental process.
And for us as listeners, and maybe as parents or caregivers, it's important to understand these dynamics. To practice empathy.
In all our interactions.
And to know when to offer support.
Exactly. To be there for our kids.
And on that note,
I
have one final thought for you to ponder.
I like it.
How can we foster more empathy? Not just in kids. But in all of us.
In our communities.
In our world.
That's a big question.
It is.
But it's an important one.
Because ultimately, that's what creates a world. where stronger, more resilient friendships can flourish.
For everyone.
It's definitely something to think about.
Lots to chew on.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Always a pleasure.